Today, we're digging into a really important question in the world of software. What is the real, tangible business value you get from a microservice architecture?
Look, every single tech organization, whether you're a tiny startup or a huge company, runs into this exact problem. The business side is always pushing for more speed, new features, faster fixes, you know the drill. But at the same time, your customers and your ops team, they need safety. They need a system that's reliable, that's resilient, and that, well, just works. So how on earth do you get both? So what's the secret? Well, it's not about picking a side. It's about getting both, working together. This is what we call the microservices way. It's an approach to engineering that actually lets you move faster while making your system more stable. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at that classic speed versus safety problem. Then, we'll dive into how speed actually creates value for the business and how safety protects that value. And finally, we'll see how microservices bring these two powerful ideas together in perfect harmony. All right, first things first, let's really get into this classic engineering tug-of-war. So on one side, you have this constant, relentless push for speed. The market just doesn't wait, and if you're not shipping new stuff, you're basically falling behind. But on the flip side, you have the absolute non-negotiable need for safety. I mean, a system that's super fast but crashes all the time, that's worse than having no system at all. For a long time, we've thought of this as a trade-off. Step on the gas for speed, and you're probably taking your hands off the steering wheel when it comes to safety. So what if you didn't have to choose? Let's take a look at how a microservice approach really tackles that need for speed, and more importantly, how that speed translates into actual business value. And that's the real question, right? We hear all this talk about breaking down monoliths and creating these small, independent services, but how does that actually help a business move faster in the real world? Well, it all boils down to a few really key ideas. First up, agility. When your system is built out of all these small, independent services, you can update just one little piece without having to redeploy the entire thing. This is huge. It means you can get new features out to your customers way faster, see what they think, and change direction if you need to, all without some massive, super risky, big bang release. Next up, you've got composability. You can think of microservices like really sophisticated Lego bricks. Once you build a service that, handles payment processing, other teams can just grab it and reuse it. You're not reinventing the wheel every single time. And this creates a compounding benefit. The more of these reusable blocks you build, the faster all future development becomes. And the last piece of this speed puzzle is comprehensibility. You've probably seen it, a giant monolithic code base that's so complex no single person on the planet understands how it all works. A microservice, though, it's small, it's focused, it does one job and does it well. This makes it so much easier for new developers to join the team, understand a piece of the system, and start adding value almost immediately. That ramp-up time gets slashed. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from a senior manager at Disney really hits the nail on the head. They're deploying useful code faster, which is great, but just as important, they stopped deploying code that hasn't even changed. That's a huge problem with monoliths. You redeploy everything, introducing unnecessary risk and overhead. This is a game changer. Okay, so we've got the speed part down. Now let's jump over to the other side of the coin, safety. How do you move this fast without, everything catching on fire? I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a minute, doesn't moving faster just mean you're going to break more stuff? It's a classic concern. Every change you make to software is a potential breaking change. So how does a microservice architecture even begin to address this? And in doing so, protect the value of the business? Now, this is where it gets really powerful, because you can draw a straight line from these technical safety features to direct business outcomes. Let's take resilience. When one service fails, but it doesn't take down your entire system, what does that mean? It means a better, more reliable experience for your customer. Or what about efficiency? When you can scale just the services that need it, you're not wasting money on infrastructure. And improved testability? Being able to test smaller units of code means you're way less likely to ship a buggy feature. And this quote from Hootsuite, it's a perfect real-world example of that efficiency point. In a monolith, if one tiny part of your app suddenly needs massive resources, you have to scale the entire thing. It's all or nothing. But with microservices, you can tune your resources with surgical precision only where they're needed. It makes a system both safer and a whole lot cheaper to run. Okay, so this brings us to the big idea, the grand finale, where we see these two concepts, speed and safety, stop fighting and start working together.
So we're moving away from that old, tired trade-off where speed automatically equals more risk. We're moving towards a new kind of harmony. The goal here is to increase what's called your change velocity, basically how fast you can deliver value, while at the exact same time you're maintaining or maybe even improving the stability of your entire system.
And who better to sum this all up than the CTO of Amazon Web Services, Werner Vogels? Just listen to what he says. He hits all the key points. Scaling independently, that's safety and efficiency. Maintaining unparalleled availability, that's a fantastic customer experience. And introducing new services quickly, that's your speed and agility. That, right there, is the harmony in action.
So here's the bottom line, the one thing to really take away from all this. A microservice architecture isn't some magic wand. It's a fundamental shift in how you think about building software. It's about designing a system from the ground up, where the ability to change quickly and safely isn't an accident or an afterthought, it's a core feature.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about in your own world. Is the way you build software today acting as an accelerator for your business, or is it a brake, constantly forcing you to choose between moving fast and just keeping the lights on?
And that's a wrap for this explainer. If this helped you think a little differently about speed and safety, do me a favor and share it with your team. And of course, subscribe for more breakdowns like this one. Thanks for tuning in.